mean, no new taxes. You said that people were flat out wrong.
Well, I think those who believe that higher taxes are the answer to Ohio's economic needs and economic recovery are flat out wrong. I obviously will look at all the options available to me, but for those who seem to take great glee and use phrases like hot dog, now they're going to have to raise taxes, I find that troublesome because I think it doesn't reflect, quite frankly, the level of maturity that I think ought to be expressed when the state of Ohio is facing the kind of serious problems that we are facing.
Governor, do you believe you have the authority to implement VLTs on your own? And will you do so?
Well, we're looking at that. I said during the budget negotiations that I felt that legislative language would be important in giving investors a greater sense of security as they were being asked to invest in the VLT issue. But we're looking at all of our options. I don't know that we have reached a firm conclusion as to whether or not we will proceed based on a conclusion that I have the authority. We're looking at everything.
Well, the Solicitor General in his arguments to the court said you do have the authority. The Lottery Commission could do this.
Like I
You're
said,
not confident in his opinion?
Good try.
Okay.
No, the issue is this ruling came out yesterday morning. I was traveling throughout Ohio all day yesterday. I got back at past 11 o'clock last night, and so I have not had an opportunity to sit down with my legal folks and thoroughly explore and analyze what the court has said. I will do that, and once I have done that, then I will know more clearly what course of action may be available to me.
What kind of reaction are you hearing from the racetrack investors to this? Are they going to pay their license fees knowing that this is still up in the air? Or?
Well, just let me be really clear to you and to the racetrack owners and to the people of Ohio. I would not take advantage of someone who acted in concert with my plan and use their resources if I was not able to see the fulfillment of that plan and the installation of video lottery terminals at our racetracks. That would be unconscionable. So I don't think the racetrack owners feel any concern that I will treat them in anything but a fair and a just and an honorable way. And from what I have seen in their expressions in the media, I have not talked with any of them personally, but they seem to be still quite interested in trying to move forward.
Governor, I'm sorry to go back to the same question, but
That's okay.
Is raising taxes or a tax increase of some kind one of the options you would have to consider now?
You know, Bill, I have never said in all of my political life what I would or would not do regarding taxes or anything else in a preemptive way, because I just think that is hugely irresponsible for any political person to do that, because you have to make decisions as you confront circumstances. And there are some who are willing to make such a carte blanche statement. I am not and have never been a person who is willing to act in that way, because I think it is, quite frankly, hugely responsible for a political person in an important office to make such statements when they do not know what circumstances they may face at some point in the future.
Governor, are you still confident that we will have VLTs operating at horse tracks sometime in 2010?
It is certainly my hope that that will be the case, and I intend to continue to pursue that possibility and those efforts.
Do you think a Supreme Court with a Democratic majority might have come to a different conclusion?
I think this ruling, without wanting to speak disparagingly of the court, I think this ruling is but one more example of why the Chief Justice was correct when he said the court would benefit from having a variety of philosophies and political points of view represented on it. Absolutely.
Governor, I'm sorry to get back to this, but when you say flat out wrong, what were you referring to then? People who call for tax increases right away?
There have been people who have been calling for tax increases long before this current court ruling. And I think they are out of touch with the struggles that Ohio families and Ohio small businesses are going through. Maybe in their ivory towers, a tax increase seems like something that would not be painful or harmful. I have said that I think a tax increase could have the effect of deepening the recession and causing it to last longer. And I continue to hold to that belief. Now, there are individuals who apparently know more about my motivations than I do, because they are more than willing to say without any hesitancy whatsoever what is in my head and what is in my heart. And I just simply think they are wrong, and flat out wrong.
You were referring to Senator Voinovich specifically, though? You said a U.S. Senator, the only one who's called for a tax increase was him, not Senator Brown.
Of course I was referring to the remarks of Senator Voinovich yesterday. He seemed almost gleeful. You know, when a United States Senator says, hot dog, and then says, now they're going to have to raise taxes, that seems like an immature response to a very, very serious set of economic circumstances facing our state. And let me point out, I further said in that statement that Senator Voinovich, during the stimulus negotiations, I called him numerous times, urging him to support the stimulus, because Ohio was not facing a $1 billion budget deficit at that time. We were facing what would have been a multiple $1 billion deficit. And at one time in those conversations, he said, Governor, we're not going to give the states money to pay their bills with. And so he had an opportunity to help Ohio, and he chose to vote against Ohio, in my judgment, when he voted against that stimulus bill. If the stimulus bill had not passed, we would not be facing $933 million in potential deficit. We would have been facing probably $5 to $6 billion in deficit. And I think his vote was irresponsible. I've tried to be fairly circumspect about that and not criticize him publicly about it. But, you know, I think his vote on the stimulus is relevant to the circumstances that Ohio is facing at this time.